Hey, welcome. For this explainer, we're going to take a journey through some core Islamic teachings. We're going to look at how these huge, cosmic beliefs connect all the way down to the simplest, everyday actions in our lives. All right, let's jump right in.
So let's kick things off with this big question. From the vastness of the universe to a single crumb of food on your plate, how does faith give us a framework for everything? Let's explore how these two ends of the spectrum are actually deeply, deeply connected.
So where does it all start? Well, everything, and I mean everything, is built on one single foundational idea. And this isn't just a belief. It's the lens through which the entire universe is meant to be understood. It is the absolute starting point.
In that idea, it's called Tawheed. This is the absolute, non-negotiable belief in the oneness of God, Allah. What does that mean? It means He is totally singular, with no partners, no equals, no children. The crucial point here is, this isn't just one belief among many, it is the core belief.
And what's so powerful here is that this isn't just about faith, right? It's presented as straight-up cosmic logic. The Quran is basically saying, hey, look around. The order and the harmony you see in the universe, that's your proof of a single creator. If you had multiple gods with different wills, you'd have nothing but conflict and chaos.
And you can see how this one core belief has a ripple effect. It flows right into how you're supposed to live your life. If God is the only creator, the only one keeping everything going, then it just makes sense that He's the only one you should worship, the only one you should ask for help, and the only one who deserves your ultimate thanks.
Okay, so if Tawheed is the core message, how did people actually get it? Well, that's where we zoom in a little bit. From this huge divine concept to the human messengers who brought it to us, the prophets.
And this isn't something new. This chain of guidance, it literally goes back to the very beginning of humanity. It starts with the very first man, Adam, who was also the first prophet, and it ends with the final prophet, Muhammad. So you have this continuous thread of divine communication woven all throughout human history.
And this guidance wasn't just abstract ideas. It was super practical, right from the get-go. For example, the very first divine law, or Shari'ah, that was given to Prophet Adam's family had specific rules for society, like how marriages would work, and even clear spiritual signs, like an accepted sacrifice being consumed by a fire from the heavens.
And to show that they were the real deal, prophets were backed up by miracles. Check out this story from the life of the final prophet. During a battle, his cousin Ali had a terrible eye problem. The prophet just applied his own saliva to Ali's eyes, and bam, they were healed, instantly. These were signs of divine support.
All right, let's bring the focus in even closer. We've gone from the entire cosmos to the prophets, and now right down to our own homes, our own daily lives. How do these massive ideas actually show up in the small, simple moments of our day?
And this, right here, is such a perfect example of that connection. Think about it. An act as tiny as dropping a piece of food is loaded with spiritual meaning. The instruction to pick it up, wipe it off, and eat it is framed as being grateful and also as a way of denying Satan or Shaitan any portion. It turns a totally mundane moment into a conscious act of faith.
And the guidance doesn't just cover our actions, it's also about how we feel. Take Talbina, for example. It's a simple porridge, just barley, milk, and honey. But it was recommended as a remedy for the heart, specifically for easing grief, getting over fatigue, and fighting weakness. It's a beautiful link between physical ingredients and spiritual comfort.
Or look at the Ishraaq prayer. It's a short, voluntary prayer you can do after sunrise. The teaching says that for someone who stays remembering God from the dawn prayer until then, this simple act can wash away sins, even if they're as much as the foam on the sea. Just think about that for a second. All the foam on all the seas. That's a powerful idea of mercy.
Now, of course, faith isn't just a list of things to do. It's also a clear guide on what to stay away from. There are these major pitfalls that are considered really destructive to a person's faith and their life in general.
And the Prophet Muhammad was very specific about this. He pointed out just seven, major actions that are considered truly destructive.
And here they are. First is shirk, which is associating partners with God. That's the one sin that can't be forgiven if you don't repent from it. Then there's practicing black magic, murder, consuming interest, taking wealth from an orphan unjustly, running away from the battlefield, and finally, slandering chaste women.
Okay, so we've got the core belief, right? We've got the guidance from the prophets, and we've got the day-to-day actions, the things to do and the things to avoid. Now, Let's pull the camera all the way back out for the biggest picture of all, the whole context of life, death, and what comes after.
And the contrast couldn't be more extreme. It's really jarring when you see it side by side. This life, this world, is described as having less value to God than a dead animal would have to its owner. Basically, it's temporary and insignificant in the grand scheme. But the hereafter, that's the eternal reality, with descriptions of incredible rewards and, on the other hand, severe punishments, like a bed and a canopy made of fire.
And that brings us full circle right back to where we started, when this is the ultimate perspective, this idea of a temporary test versus an eternal reality. How does that totally reshape the meaning of every little thing you do? How does it change the weight of picking up that fallen piece of food or avoiding one of those destructive sins? That's the big question this whole framework leaves us to think about.